What if I told you that right now, as you watch this video, something is being taken from you, quietly, invisibly, and you will never get it back? It's not your money, it's not your health, it's your time. And the terrifying truth is, most of us won't realize what we've lost until it's already gone. Today's story is about a young man who thought he had all the time in the world. He was smart, he had dreams, but he was slowly, quietly, wasting his life away. Until one rainy afternoon, a mysterious old clockmaker showed him something that changed everything. This story will take only a few minutes of your time, but it might be the most important few minutes you spend today. Stay with us till the very end. Welcome to Deep Life Tales. This is the place where we tell stories that go beyond entertainment, stories that reach into your chest, find something you forgot was there, and remind you of what truly matters. If this is your first time here, you are exactly where you need to be. Now let's get into the story. Once upon a time, in a quiet cobblestone town, there was a small shop sitting on the corner of the main street. The sign above the door read, "Hugo's Clocks, every second counts." Inside, an old man named Hugo sat surrounded by hundreds of clocks, tall grandfather clocks, tiny pocket watches, ancient clocks from faraway lands, all of them ticking, tick, tick, tick. Hugo had spent his entire life repairing clocks, and people in town said something remarkable about him. They said Hugo could fix any clock, no matter how broken, no matter how long it had been silent. But the young people in town didn't respect Hugo. They laughed softly behind his back. "What a waste of a life," they whispered, "fixing other people's clocks in a dusty little shop." Hugo never responded to the whispers. He just kept working, quietly, patiently, one clock at a time. One cold afternoon, a 19-year-old boy named Daniel came rushing past the shop to escape a sudden rainstorm. He pushed open the door without thinking. A little bell above the door rang softly. Daniel stood there, dripping wet, looking around at the walls covered floor to ceiling in clocks. It was the strangest, most beautiful thing he had ever seen. Hugo looked up from his workbench and smiled warmly. Come in. Sit down, young man." Daniel sat on a small wooden stool near the door. He was a smart boy. Everyone in town said so. But smart didn't mean disciplined. Daniel had a habit of sleeping through his mornings, scrolling through his phone for hours, writing big plans in notebooks he never opened again. He had big dreams. He just never started them. He always told himself the same thing. "I'll start tomorrow." As the rain tapped against the window, Daniel looked around curiously. "Why do you have so many clocks?" he asked. Hugo chuckled softly, without looking up. "Because people keep bringing me broken ones. Can you fix all of them?" Hugo paused. He set down his tiny screwdriver very slowly. "I can fix most of them," he said. "But there is one clock I have never been able to fix." Daniel sat up straighter. "Which one?" The old man looked up and pointed, not at the wall, not at a shelf. He pointed directly at Daniel. "Yours," Hugo said quietly. Daniel blinked. "I don't have a clock." Hugo folded his hands and leaned forward. "Every person is born with a clock inside them. It begins ticking the moment you take your first breath, and it never stops. Not when you sleep, not when you are busy, not when you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow." Daniel felt something strange move inside his chest, a discomfort he couldn't name. "But I'm only 19, he said quietly. "I have so much time." Hugo looked at him for a long moment. Then he said, very softly, "That is exactly what I told myself when I was 19. The shop went completely silent. Only the clocks kept ticking. Hugo rose slowly from his chair and walked to a locked glass cabinet in the far corner of the shop. Daniel had not noticed it before. Inside the cabinet was a single clock. Unlike all the others, it was dusty, still, silent, its hands frozen in place. "This clock," Hugo began, his voice dropping low, "belonged to my closest friend, Thomas." He paused, touching the glass gently. "Thomas and I grew up together. We had the same dreams: to travel, to build something meaningful, to leave something behind for the world. Thomas always talked about opening a school for children in the poor villages nearby. He said he would write a book one day. He said he would visit his aging parents more often." Hugo's voice caught slightly. But Thomas had one habit that never left him. He always said, "Tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. There's still time." He turned to look at Daniel. Then one morning, Thomas collapsed. The doctors said it was his heart. Within a week, Thomas was gone. Daniel stared at the frozen clock. The school was never built. The book was never written. His parents waited for a visit that never came. Hugo's eyes glistened. "I have kept his clock here for 30 years. Not out of sadness, but as a reminder, for me, for every young person who walks through that door. That time does not wait for dreams. Dreams must chase time." The rain had stopped outside. The town was quiet. Daniel sat completely still. He was thinking about his own mornings, the goals written in notebooks collecting dust under his bed, the business idea he had been talking about for 2 years, the phone calls he kept meaning to make, his father, whom he hadn't truly spoken to in months. He felt something crack open inside him. Not pain exactly, more like a door swinging open. "What do I do?" Daniel asked. His voice was different now, softer, younger somehow. Hugo smiled, the warmest smile Daniel had ever seen on an old man's face. "You don't need to change everything tonight. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to do one thing, one real thing. Today, not tomorrow. Today. Plant one seed every morning. Water it every evening. And trust that small, faithful steps taken every single day will build the life you keep dreaming about in the dark." Daniel left the shop that evening feeling lighter and heavier at the same time. Lighter because something had lifted from his spirit. Heavier because now he knew the truth and could no longer pretend otherwise. He didn't transform overnight. Real life doesn't work that way. But he started. He woke up 30 minutes earlier each morning. He spent that quiet time working on a small tutoring idea he had. He called his father, a conversation that lasted 2 hours and ended with both of them in tears. Weeks became months. Months became a year. 1 year later, Daniel had opened a small tutoring room for children in his neighborhood. It wasn't famous, it wasn't big, but it was alive, and it was his. And every morning, when he unlocked the door, he whispered the same 4 words to himself. Every second counts. On the morning of his 1-year anniversary, Daniel walked past Hugo's shop. He stopped. Through the window, he could see the old man bent over his workbench, as always, surrounded by his army of ticking clocks. Daniel placed his hand flat against the cold glass. He smiled. And somewhere inside the shop, without looking up, Hugo smiled too. Time is the one thing that is truly equal. Every person on this earth, rich or poor, young or old, gets exactly 24 hours today. The question is never, do I have enough time? The question is always, what am I doing with the time I have? Don't be like Thomas, full of dreams, waiting for a tomorrow that never came. Be like Daniel, imperfect, uncertain, but moving. Because motion, even slow motion, will always beat standing still. So here is your question for today. What is the one thing you have been postponing that your future self is desperately waiting for you to start? Write it in the comments below. Just one thing, because sometimes saying it out loud is the first step to finally doing it. If this story moved something in you, please like this video. It takes 1 second, and it helps this story reach someone who needs it. Share it with someone in your life who needs a reminder that their time matters. And if you are new here, welcome to Deep Life Tales. We tell stories that change the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you live. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. We will see you in the next one.